First, we swept them and knocked them out of the playoffs. Then we beat their efforts to ban the tush push. Now, we're about to steal the star players. Dallas still stinks. You might do it, Dingbat here. So the Eagles have mandatory minicamp this week, and then it's over. It's over until training camp starts. And you might have been thinking, hey man, I think this roster is pretty much done. I think we're seeing all the guys that Howie was going to bring in already here. It's time for training camp. Well, guess what? There may be another move about to go down. There may be another move to be made. This is a very, very interesting situation. And this is going to tell us how much the Eagles really think and really like Ringo, okay? Kelee Ringo. Do they like him? Do they trust him? We're going to find out, because I think that this player who just got cut, if he's available and the Eagles feel they need a corner, they're going to try to go out and get him, okay? But it all depends on what they think of Ringo, okay? Now, you might be saying, what the hell are you talking about today? What are you smoking? Look, here's what's going on. The Packers have released cornerback Jaire Alexander, okay? Now, this is a corner that has been connected to the Eagles in the past because, frankly, the Packers were supposed to do this a few years ago, okay? But they didn't. Now, here's what I'll say. On one hand, I would absolutely love it. I would love it. You know, you beat the Green Bay Packers in Brazil. First game ever in Brazil, you beat them. Then you knock them out of the playoffs. Then you beat them when they're trying to ban the brotherly shove. You know, all their efforts and all their crying, you beat them there. And then now you're about to steal a star player from them. I love that. I love that. But here's the thing. Do we really need him? Do we really need him? That to me is the whole question about this. I am one of those guys who do believe that the Eagles are concerned at the cornerback spot. I do believe the rumors that they did talk to Miami about Ramsey. To what level, I don't know. I do believe the rumors in the past where the Eagles were inquiring and talking about Jaire Alexander. I think the Eagles could look to make a move for another corner. I think it's possible. I just think it depends on what they think of Kelee Ringo, okay? You brought Adoree Jackson in to compete with Ringo. Well, you bring in Adoree Jackson because you're trying to make it make the situation perfect for Ringo to beat somebody out, okay? Now, I like Adoree Jackson in terms of if you need a bridge safety, if you need somebody to go in, fill in, hold it down, I think he can do that. But Jaire Alexander is a different animal. It's a whole different case, because if Alexander is healthy, and look, that's a big if he's healthy, because he hasn't been the last few years, but if he is healthy, he is one of the best corners in the National Football League. That's just true. And if you bring him in and he's healthy, then guess what? That Eagles secondary, all of a sudden, even with the questions you have at safety, is going to be deadly. It's going to be absolutely deadly. But the whole question isn't about Jaire Alexander or his health. The question is do the Eagles believe in Kelee Ringo? That's the question. That's what we have to be asking ourselves, okay? Now, here's one interesting note about Alexander. Alexander is only 28. He turned 28 a few months ago, okay? So he's not 32, 33 years old. He just turned 28, okay? Zach Baun's age. His birthday is February 9th. February 9th, the Eagles win the Super Bowl. February 9th, Saquon Barkley's birthday. February 9th, Cooper DeJean's birthday. Could that be the sign that we're looking for? He's another February 9th player. That would be interesting. But I don't think the Eagles give two craps about when his birthday is. I'm just I just thought it was interesting. But no, the real question about Jair Alexander is going to be this: do the Eagles believe that Ringo is the guy? Because I think if they have questions, I think you bring Jair Alexander in. I think you take a chance. Now, he may not be healthy, and if he comes in and he struggles, well, you already got a Dory Jackson. You already got Ringo. So I don't see where you really, are losing anything. But if for some reason Ringo isn't playing well or isn't playing to the level of Alexander, well, then you got Alexander and you can start him. Now, what is Jair Alexander going to ask for in terms of compensation and money? I don't see how he could go out there and be asking for, top cornerback money when he's got to prove himself. He's got to prove that he could be healthy and he could play a full season. He's missed a lot of games. So, that's going to be the question when it comes to him. Because I just don't know. I mean, if you look at his last few years, right? Really look. 2021, he played 4 games. 2022, he played all 16 games. But 2023, he only plays 7. 2024, he only plays 7. So the last few years, he's only played 7 games in a season. It's not enough. So I don't see how Jair Alexander could go to the negotiating table trying to get big bank from a team. Now, maybe a team's stupid enough to go ahead and do it or desperate. But I think really, if you look at it, Alexander is probably going to be looking for a prove-it deal. I'm guessing maybe a 1-year prove-it deal somewhere. Well, if you're Jair Alexander, what better place is there to go than Philly on a 1-year prove-it deal? You know what I'm saying? 1 year to prove it, and you go out and show what you can do. Then you become a free agent. Eagles could decide at that point, no, we want to bring him back. He's played really good, or you know what? Another year of development, we are now ready for Ringo to take that spot. Or he comes in and Ringo just beats him out. That's the best case scenario. That's the best case scenario, in my opinion. Sign Jair Alexander on like a 1-year prove-it deal. Then you have Ringo come into camp and beat him out anyways. That, to me, would be perfect. That would be perfect. However, like I said, this is all about what do the Eagles think about Ringo at corner. Do they think he can start? Do they think he can play? Now, when you look and talk to the fan base, our fan base is pretty much split on it. A lot of people think that he's not a corner, that they think he's, he doesn't, his hips aren't fluid enough. He's just not that guy. They think he would be a better safety than a corner. Others think he can play. I'm kind of neutral. I feel like Ringo has a lot of talent, and he needs the opportunity to go out there and get the reps and actually play. And when he does, I think he'll be good. But, he's still got to go out and do it. So to me, the whole question about Jair Alexander is going to be, do the Eagles trust Kelee Ringo that he is the corner going into this year? If they have questions, if they have concerns coming out of OTA and minicamp, mandatory minicamp, which is this week, I think it's tomorrow to be exact. If you have questions or concerns, then I say do it, okay? The Eagles have the money. They have the cap space to do it. They're in a position that they could easily do it. And I would think that they're probably the most attractive team for Jair Alexander to go to. I mean, he's got to look at a guy like James Bradbury and see what happened to him. We've had a lot of guys, come to Philly on a 1-year deal. Maybe they had been injured in the past. Maybe they were looking to show they still could play. And then come in, ball out, and then go get paid somewhere else. We have seen it happen, okay? It happened with Bradbury. You could even say Mekhi Becton, it happened to last year. Came in on a 1-year deal, showed that he could play, and he went and he got paid. Wish we could have kept Mekhi Becton, but we didn't. So to me, this is really like, my opinion is this. Would I sign Jair Alexander? I think I would. I would do it. I would do it. It would have to be the right price. It would have to be a contract that I'm not going to get stuck into. I'm thinking a 1-year prove-it deal. But I think I would sign him. Now, I would tell him, you're not being handed that outside corner spot. If you want to come in, you want to battle Ringo, you want to beat him out, and then you want to show you still can play, and then go in the open market next year and get paid, or stay with us and get paid if you can prove it, fine. But you got to compete with Ringo. It's got to be an open competition. And if you can beat him, fine. If you can't, you can't. I don't see there's anything wrong with that. If the Eagles can do that, I say why not? You're not risking anything. And if Ringo, and the best case scenario would be for Ringo to win the job, beat him out. And if he does that, that's the best case scenario. That's what I would be rooting for. But if for some reason Ringo can't, I think you really solidify that corner spot if he's healthy and he can play. So this is a very interesting name to become available, and we'll see where he goes. He could end up with the Rams. He could end up, who knows, Kansas City, wherever. But to me, Jair Alexander going to Philly would be a slap in the face of the Packers, which I love. And I think it would be a good insurance policy for Kelee Ringo, and that he can play. Just my thoughts. Let me know what you think. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. Remember, Howie Vision, baby. We're all just living in it.
Oh, God. No. I want to be like the Eagles.
That's all, folks.
The brother screwed us.